Vanguardian 650. So President Trump went on one of his socials and issued a national edict um, in saying that he wanted the Washington whatevers to change their name back to the Washington Redskins football team. And he went on to, that was the first tweet. He went on later to tweet that, to acknowledge that his tweet really picked up legs and was trending. Kind of hinted towards, Washington Commanders are in negotiations with Washington, D.C. as far as a stadium deal at the old RFK site. So he's kind of hinting that that would have to be on the table in order for a deal to get done. I'm paraphrasing. You can check, research. But how do you think about that? Do you think the president, with everything that's going on now, with the, MAGA being on his helmet, this whole thing, the Epstein files not being released, seems to be some type of cover up, or should I say roadblock or gatekeeping as far as getting those files released to the public. And a lot of blame. Who is it on? It's politics, and I don't really care about that. But the Washington football franchise, professional football franchise, has a very strong following, and it's a franchise that's one of the originals. It's a flagship franchise in the NFL. Has a steep history, tradition. The bugaboo is the name. Redskins. The Native Americans have protested some, or is it just allowed, minority? Some think that if any, indigenous people or Native Americans are offended by the name, it should just be wiped out. There's an argument for that. And that's what a lot of the protest is, that you're not sensitive to the needs of the people who don't who think of it being a derogatory moniker and name that kind of blankets the whole indigenous Native American community. But there's a lot of people, citizens or Native Americans, who believe, they take pride in the name. They're not offended by it. To them, it's an honorable badge and of honor to them, as far as, like I said, pride. A lot of schools, in that are dominant with Native Americans have the Redskins as their nickname. And I know that the woke community pushed that 3-4 years ago. But I think what's missing here, when I think of the Washington Redskins, my first, because I'm a fan, I just think of the football team. I don't think atrocities and, that deep into that. I don't know if that's bad, or I'm just thinking football. Now, I know that might be insensitive to people, but I'm just giving you my truth of what I feel. So, but that's interesting that President Donald Trump would fire off some those messagings like that. You know what I mean? Those posts. He seems to be serious, though. Could he force Josh Harris and the Washington franchise? Could he force them, to hold that over their heads, to say, look, the federal government is still at play here with that land. And we're, hey, you want to get a deal done? We need to get the Washington Redskins back on that at least the logo. But I don't think they could change the name back. As much as I love to see the name or hear the name back with Washington, the tradition and everything. Um, and I'm just gonna keep it there. I don't care about, President Trump has mentioned the Cleveland Indians too. He want their name changed back too. Uh, I'm not gonna get into what name should be here, what name. I just know my football team. Uh, if 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 they want to go with the Commanders, fine. Um, to me personally, if he was going to change it, I would have kept the Washington football team or Washington Football Club, because I just don't think there's any name that could correlate. I know they had the Red Wolves that had some steam, but I don't know. There was some maybe copyright issues with that, but it is what it is. I mean, we have the name we have, and if the president want to issue an edict and say, "Look, going forward, y'all gonna have to think about changing the name," hey, he's gonna do what he wants to do. Anything to have a deflection off this Epstein case, though. he's very, he's very cunning, Donald Trump. Anyway, that's enough. Whether they change the name or not, I can't worry about that. I'm more worried about signing Terry McLaurin to an extension, but that's another story. Vanguardian 650. Peace.